Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, YouTube. Good morning, TikTok. How's everybody morning? Yesterday was a new moon in Virgo, and it was interesting new moon because it had Uranus also there, so maybe some unexpected things happen. But overall, it's a good new moon, and I think it's a good time to talk about how we as women emasculate our men. Now, remember how last time we spoke about how men drain us. So 7 ways a man will drain your feminine man, a man who acts feminine. Now, if you didn't watch that video, please do watch. It was like a pre-video to this one. So today we're going to talk how we make men feminine, and in the next Sunday we're going to talk how to fix all of that and how to inspire your man to stay masculine and to basically to act masculine. Now, all these 3 videos are important because I don't want to put responsibility on just somebody. So just to say that men are bad would be wrong. Just that I would say that it's all man's fault. You're just attracting wrong man. You're just attracting feminine man. That would be incorrect, and it's just not right. That's not how it is. In the all of energy, we're taking responsibility for ourselves. We attract particular people, and for our actions attract particular reactions, so to say. So anyways, I do want to make this video. In the last video, I showed how a man drain you, but at the end of the video, I told you it's only 50%. Usually, a woman is responsible for all this as a man and that. So, anyways, and in my life, I saw man, and if you think that the man is naturally bad, you will be mistaken, because in my life, I saw men who were acting masculine with somebody and acting feminine with somebody else. So this is it's not it's basically that's how it is. A man can be like a chameleon, changing his colors here and there, just like women. You see, I was born feminine, but when I needed to, I acted very masculine, and sometimes I do still, because I live in a masculine world. So the circumstances pushed me to be masculine, as many of the ladies are these days. And this is just somewhat normal. So the man, the same way. If the circumstances will push them to be feminine, they will be feminine. If the circumstances will push them to be masculine, will be masculine. And as I said, I saw them. Now, there are men who were born naturally feminine, just like women. And there are men who were born naturally, I get so much love. And there are men that were born naturally masculine. So men that were born with a lot of planets in water or earth. So a man who had a lot of placements in Pisces, Taurus, Cancer, Virgo, Scorpio, Capricorn. These are feminine men. They were born naturally feminine. Doesn't mean they will act feminine. They might be absolutely masculine men. But they were born naturally feminine, and because they were born naturally feminine, they tend to act feminine more, because that's their natural energy. That's how they're born. Doesn't mean they like it. They will not like it, but that's how they will act, because it's naturally theirs. Like the same with women. Women that were born naturally masculine will tend to be more masculine. They can be feminine, obviously, and these are my clients. We work with them. I mean, they are feminine. But in the moment of crisis, they turn their masculinity on. So that's just how it is. Now, a feminine and masculine man, they both will be they both can, according to circumstances, act feminine. But masculine men that were born masculine, they will fight that. So they will fight the feminine routine. They will feel like it's absolutely not natural to them. They will not like it. Now, feminine men might become feminine and they wouldn't even mind. So, as an example, I will tell you. I worked in finances for many years, and obviously, I work in finances in New York City. There are a lot of masculine men in that field, but there are also men who are feminine. There's basically a man world. And I knew men who were actually acting very masculine, even though they were naturally feminine. I actually had a colleague who was like this. I trained him to start with. And to my surprise, the guy was very feminine, seriously feminine. He was born, you can see he was gaining weight around his waist. So he was feminine. He was born, you don't even need to look at his chart to see that he was feminine. But his career was pushing him to be masculine. The accomplishments were making him masculine. And I remember one day he became like a completely unrecognizable person, not physically, but the way he was acting. And what happened? So he met this woman in his country. I guess she's somewhat like a star because uh, so she was an actress in some kind of series, so I'm not sure. So and he wanted that woman. I mean, he was very much into, he thought that it would be his status symbol if she would be his girlfriend. And the guy turned like really, really, he became very masculine. For that woman, he did everything. I never saw him like that. Now, why did I tell you that the same man can act masculine and feminine with with a different woman? Is because with me, he was acting feminine. With her, he was acting masculine. Now, I was not his girlfriend, anything like this. I was his mentor at work. So why he was acting with me feminine is because I was more motherly to him. I was basically feeling sorry for him. I was trying to help him. And so I realized that when he actually asked me, tried to borrow money from me to impress her. And I understand, you see, so the same man, absolutely everything the same, but was acting feminine with me and masculine with her. He wanted to be a hero to her, but he really frankly didn't care. He wanted to be a weak kind of man in front of me. All right, so I hope this encouraged. So don't blame your man. If your man right now is acting feminine, don't blame him fully. I mean, there's obviously a problem in him. I mean, if a man is satisfied with being feminine, laying around, doing nothing, whining all the time, complaining all the time, there is an issue. Obviously, no man would want that. No woman would want that in her life. I mean, I'm highly feminine, and I wouldn't want to just lay around and complain. So a man obviously will not like that. But that what the reason why he's like this might be in you, and today that's what we're going to talk about. And just like that. So anyways, let's start. So masculinity grows in challenges, grows through accomplishments and caring for others. This is what masculinity is for. Masculinity is for providing, for caring, for jumping through challenges, getting to some kind of accomplishments. Masculine energy gets energy. Masculine man and woman gets energy from accomplishments, from sport, and from women. So to get to accomplishments, you need to jump through some kind of hoops. You have to get through challenges. And through accomplishments, through sport. So you basically need to be somewhat sporty, somewhat lean. This kind of this gives you energy, and to through women. So as they conquer women, they become masculine more and more. So anyways, now if femininity grows on the other hand in pleasure, laziness, and inspiration to herself and to others. So when you are a woman and you think that your man will grow, his masculinity will grow in pleasure, you're absolutely mistaken. And that just doesn't happen like this. Masculinity grows in challenges, in different things. So now I told you this, keep that in mind. And now let's get to how men can become feminine. Now, before I will tell you how a woman makes men feminine, I also need to mention that men can become feminine due to circumstances. Usually it's the woman who makes them feminine. Women in their life, not necessarily a woman that he dates or he's married to. It could be his mother, his daughters, could be his sisters. You know, if he was born in the family full of girls and they were always bossing him around, I mean, obviously he will be a feminine man. But it could be due to the outside circumstances. What those circumstances could be. For example, a man broke his leg and now he could not move, so he lays around all the time. Whether you want it or not, he will become more feminine. Why? Because femininity develops horizontally. So the more he lays, the more he becomes feminine. And if he will allow it, it will kind of drag on for many years. Or he gained weight, so he got sick and he gained a lot of weight. Again, weight also kind of, you pack the weight around yourself, you become lazy, you become more feminine. It's not clean femininity, it's dirty femininity, but still feminine. So a man would not be so secure and confident, he will start acting feminine. Or, for example, a man is forced to stay with a child at home, so there is no diversity. Remember, masculinity needs to be free, needs to be here and there. So again, he's basically stuck in the four walls, doesn't socialize much except for the little baby. And and I actually saw this. I had it. It was a couple that I knew. and the woman had an amazing career. She was making a lot of money, and they decided that the man should stay with the kids. They had 2 kids, and basically the man became very feminine, even though naturally he was very masculine. So any kind of lack of freedom, for example, he works from 9 to 5 in the same routine. So any kind of routine, lack of freedom, this all can make him feminine, even if he was born masculine. Now, usually masculine men don't tolerate that much. If they feel like the energy is too stagnant, like they don't have challenges, they will either ask for those challenges or they will start moving around, start changing something in their life. Like even that couple that I told you, basically what they decided to do, they hired a nanny once the children were a little like grown up, like a little bit. I think one was 3, was 2, and the man went back to work because that was just crazy. He became absolutely unbearable, and that was not due. So these are circumstances that can make any man feminine outside. So it doesn't have to do nothing with the woman. The that just happens. You see, masculinity is very wild. It's very it needs freedom. You see, when you see a wildfire, you kind of mesmerized by it. You're almost threatened by it because it's so big, it's so strong, it's so powerful. But then, if you domesticate the fire and you have a little candle burning, yeah, it's burning, but it's not as inspiring. It's not as kind of interesting as you would see, a wildfire, like fire somewhere far away, and you see, and you see how strong it is. So for masculinity to thrive, it needs to be free. It needs to be challenged. It needs to conquer something. It needs to stuff like that. Now, 5 ways I put. So there are a lot of ways how a woman can emasculate her man, but I put 5 5 points, and I think I covered them all. So the first one is, and I think the most popular, and tell me if you recognize yourself here, but usually a woman emasculates her man when she becomes her mommy. So when she treats her man as a little child, and it doesn't need to be literal, honestly, but and this mother could be either one, either a very rough mother or a very kind of sweet, caring mother. Now, remember, you and man are on the same level. Nobody is a father or mother. Nobody is a child in the relationship. Both are grown-ups. But when a woman becomes really comfortable with the man, she tends to act like this. Doesn't mean that the man would not act as a father. Sometimes it happens too. A man could act as a father, but this is the most common mistake of what's happening when a woman is getting comfortable with the man. And the man in the beginning, he allows her to do this. Why? Because it's cute, it's comforting when a woman is so into him. She cares for him. She cooks for him. She does this. She does that. She tells him what to wear, how to. So in the beginning, it's kind of nice. But if a man will not fight, at one point he will become an absolute kind of useless creature. So how could that be? So if she's acting as a rough mother, often it happens also in a relationship. They go for a while and they have children. So a woman becomes mother not only to her children but to her man as well. She just feels kind of accomplished when she's doing it. So how could it be? A woman criticizes her man in public, just like a mother would be in public or in private or anyhow. But this is not the role of a woman. This is the role of a mother. And even if you are a mother and you have a child, you're not supposed to criticize the man, a boy. You're not supposed to criticize anybody. The criticizing should be somewhat nice, constructive. You're not criticizing, comparing your man or your son with anybody. So comparing him to others, comparing to your friend's kind of husbands or boyfriends. So now, another way that a woman can be is not allowing him to make decisions. Oh my God, I hear this so often. Like, I need to make my man an appointment to his dentist because he would never do that. What makes you think he will never do that? I mean, his teeth will start to hurt and he will very fast will find the dentist and will make the appointment. Men are very resourceful, I will tell you. They're very resourceful. They can get anything they want and as long as it's important for them. So little by little, you make him like this kind of like almost like limited imbecile, like a person who could not do nothing at all. like almost handicapped. And so you're making all the decisions for him, you're doing all the tasks for him, and then if he does make some kind of decision, you are almost humiliating him for that decision, mocking him for that decision, like, and it starts slowly, Hi. It starts little by little until it's finally becomes just normal, becomes a pattern. So watch out for that. If you don't like how the man makes decisions, what he, oh, thank you very much. This is so sweet. And so if you don't like how the make man's thank you, how the make your man makes decisions, I mean, why you with him? I mean, don't you want to have a strong masculine man? So you need to allow him to make decisions from the start. Then over here, you're treating your man as an unknowledgeable child instead of an equal partner. Yes, this happens again very often when I will when a person when a man, so basically it happens when a woman becomes too comfortable with the man in her life, and a man allows her that to step all over him. Now a natural masculine man will not allow that. He will be fighting this, so he would not allow a woman to make decisions. So even if she will make decisions, he knows that he kind of allowed her to do that. Now another thing how a woman can emasculate her man while being in a mommy role is by not only like correcting him, taking over his tasks that he do. Don't trust him with any responsibility. Like there are some women, oh my God, I could not trust my baby with their father. I could not trust the father with our baby. I mean, really, he's the father. I'm sure he can manage that. Or they don't trust the man to water their plants because they believe that he could not just do it. Like a lot of things, and I see it very often. You would be surprised. It's happening very often, much more often than all the other four points that I'm going to go over with. This is the one that you need to pay attention to. And if you are with the man in the relationship, you need to make sure that this is not happening. Now, I already mentioned this. So another way how a woman can be a mother, not a strict mother like this one, but a mother who is very empathetic. So how could she emasculate her man? When she feels sorry for the man, when she, for example, a man comes and he's like, oh my God, I'm so tired. And she's like, oh, you don't need to do nothing. Just lay down. I will do everything. I will cook. I will make you food. It's good. You see, I don't say that it's bad, but when it's too much, when it's constantly, when a man wakes up and he's like, you know what, I don't feel like going to work. And she's like, don't go. You're so tired. Just stay at home. I'll take care of you like this. This is what emasculates a man. At one point, he will understand, why should I go to work at all? I feel so good here, laying around, eating cinnamon buns all day long. I mean, you see, this is it seems like it started good. A woman just wants to show love to her man. It's nothing wrong with that. But little by little, she's making him weak. He understands that him providing for the family is not that important. That somehow they will manage, and he can basically just be at home. It's this is what makes a man even faster, feminine than criticizing him and not allowing him to make decisions. You see, when a woman criticizes a man, at least he's trying to do something. At least he's trying to fight that somehow to prove her that he's good. When a woman is this sweet and she just surrounds him with the care, and she's like, yes, you're right, your boss is such a nasty man. Yes, your colleagues are absolutely terrible. Yes, this, yes, that. You can stay at home. Why don't you take time for yourself? A man is like, it's like he's back to his childhood. He's a little boy and his mom is caring for him, you see? So this happens much faster. And you think a woman at first, she enjoys this. She enjoys this kind of caring for her man. She enjoys that the man is next to her. She enjoys all this kind of empathetic journey that she's with her man on. But at one point, she will get tired. She will get tired. I'm telling you, I haven't seen a couple that was in this kind of relationship, mommy-son relationship, and the woman would not get tired. A man usually becomes very bold and starts cheating. And a woman, what happens? She gets really tired because she has like an extra child, a usually extra child who is acting very, very nasty, so to say, because he's acting like a teenager with the mom. So And usually these families don't, if nothing changed, they would divorce, they will separate. And I have couple friends who right now go through divorce because of that. And you know what? I was telling them what's wrong, but they didn't listen to me. Right now, two of them, and they both going through divorce because of this. Because they became mommies to their man, they emasculated them. The man became feminine, and now they don't understand why their man don't do what they need to do. Why their men are looking for something outside. Why men are not really are not taking responsibility for the family. Why? Because you made him a son. You didn't make him a man. You made him a son. So this is the biggest one. The majority, I would say 80% of the time, this is what's happening. And the man becomes, with time, you see men become lazier, they lay on the couch, they watch TV, they play video games, they get like a little belly over here. They become fatter, they're unsatisfied. Of course, they're unsatisfied. They don't really use their potential, so they are unsatisfied. And the problem, I would say, is for the majority of the time, is the woman here. Sorry to say it, ladies, but I also did this. Look, I mean, I didn't even want to socialize after I broke up with men who were kind of in the role of my sons. Who made them my sons? Me. Me made them. I mean, I wouldn't even lie. They would never be, because I never start as the mommy. I always start as a woman. I love to flirt with men. I love to kind of, I attract strong men. Why they become out of strong man, a weak man? This is what happens. So the second point, enough talking about that. If you have questions, do ask. The second point is you making your man your girlfriend. This is all for everybody who is like, oh, my man is my best friend, and so. When you drag your man around to every single event, to every single company, you do everything together, you gossip with him, you talk to him about everything there is. He's basically becoming your girlfriend. He's becoming your girlfriend like you had a girlfriend in school. So somebody who is just there, who is sharing your opinion, you share your opinions with. I miss you also. Who you've been discussing everything, who you go shopping with, and I see them. Sometimes I go to the mall, we have a tour mall. I go there and I see these couples. They go around, they sit, they drink coffee, they gossip about others, and they go shopping together. I mean, is he a man? I'm not sure whether he's a man, honestly. But he looks like a girlfriend to that woman. So at one point you will want to have a man who's masculine. At one point you will want a man who will come and say, look, let me buy this for you, or let me make a decision. But you see, when you make a man your girlfriend, how is he going to make a decision when he feels like you guys are best friends? You see, he believes that you guys need to make decisions together, and it's not bad, but somebody has to take the responsibility for the couple. And usually it would be you, because a man is so used to being kind of your pet instead of a man who is responsible for you. So this doesn't happen very often. I only notice this with men who are born naturally feminine, so they can fall into this trap very easy. They basically they kind of want to please you with their emotional availability. They want to be next to you. So, and they become feminine like this. It doesn't happen as often, but it does happen. And make sure, do not aim for that. Do not aim for your man to become your best friend, to become your girlfriend. Don't. Your man is your man. Remember, you're only connecting with your man like this on 25%. You don't need to tell him your whole life. You don't need to talk about your other friends with him. You don't need none of this. You want a man who is responsible, who is taking care of you, who is taking care of your relationship, who can make tough decisions, rough decisions sometimes, if something happens to you, who will be able to step in instead of sitting there and like, oh my God, yeah, you're right, this is so hard. I mean, this is what you want. As I said, it's cute in the beginning. It's cute when you can afford that. But at one point you would need a strong shoulder, and there won't be no strong shoulder because you made a man your girlfriend. Like when a woman is pregnant, she's vulnerable. Because she spends a lot of energy on creating another life, so she's vulnerable. She wants somebody strong next to her, and if that somebody strong is not strong, she's lost. She's she's worried. She's not secure. So this is a man who is not used to take responsibility, who's not used to be masculine, he basically will very often might even just leave her. leave him because he's not used to the pressure that was on him. So this is the second one. Again, this doesn't happen that often, but it might. Don't aim for that. Don't aim for your man to be your girlfriend. Don't aim for him to be everywhere with you, to share with you everything. I mean, hang out with whoever you want, with, I don't know, I mean, with your friends, I mean, by yourself. Just don't drag your man around and tell him everything and share with him everything. Okay. The third point is you limiting his masculinity through manipulations. This is very often happens when a woman is feminine, when a woman is in dirty femininity, not in clean femininity. In clean femininity, a woman would be inspiring. She would give a man a pleasure and let him be, let him go conquer the world for her, conquer the dragons, kill the dragons, bring her things, kind of fight for the luxuries that she deserves. Now, when the femininity is dirty, it becomes very kind of very needy, very insecure. And I will tell you, that was my issue. So I didn't really become that much of a mommy. Often I basically emasculate men through my manipulations, and my manipulations were, I'm not proud of that, honestly. It just happened naturally. So when I'm like, if I'm in my dirty femininity and I'm insecure, emotional, I would want a man to be next to me to provide that shoulder. Like, I remember I had this man. He was very masculine. We were dating for some time, and I remember, so he couldn't just be sitting next to me all the time. I mean, he had a life to live. He had he had a business. He had his friends. He was like interested in a lot of things. But I wanted him to be next to me because I was afraid if he would leave, then I would not feel as good as I'm feeling next to him. Even when he was next to me, I was afraid that now he's going to leave in half an hour or an hour. We didn't live at that time together. And then what will happen then? And then I will be worried when I will see him again. And like it was so insecure, such a very, very dirty femininity. So I would start crying. I would like, oh my God, I'm going to miss you, please stay. And he would stay longer and longer and longer. And at one point, he basically started getting tired of me. Why? Because he was masculine, and masculinity could not be deprived of freedom, deprived of this, of what they can do, of how they can do. But you see, he valued me. He liked me very much. So he didn't want me to be upset. He didn't want me to sit and cry there. He wanted me to be happy. But again, through betraying himself, and he didn't like that. And every time he would betray himself, then he would start, I guess, hating me a little bit, little by little, until finally we separated and went our separate ways. So, but a man has to go into the wild. He has to do something. You see, he needs to accomplish something. Him being next to me, sitting and watching TV with me, was not an accomplishment. And I felt this. I felt his kind of, at that time I wasn't even studying energy, but I felt his his uneasiness, like he wanted to go do something, and instead he was just sitting there, and we would just watch TV that I didn't even like to watch, never like to watch any kind of movies, because he liked particular movies, I like different ones. As long as I could have hold on to him, okay. As long as I could have hold on to him, I mean, that was all I wanted to. That was my main kind of thing. So, anyways, how do you start emasculating men through this kind of manipulation? Through constant nagging, through being very needy, constantly. So when you're next to a man, you should just enjoy the time next to him. You see, you're developing with the man. You should be with the man only 25% of your time. So only 25% you're spending with the man or thinking about the man. The rest of the time, 75%, you should do something else with your life. Maybe, I'm not sure, maybe, you need to develop yourself through other things, through creation, through being a woman, through nurturing your projects or your children. With the man, you're only developing 25%. But if you constantly if you constantly need him next to you, if you constantly asking for reassurance, do you love me? If you love me, then you're not going to go and hang out with your friends like this. Or if you constantly will be like, you're my boyfriend, you should spend time with me, like all this emasculate him. You see, he loses his identity by being next to you. He loses his identity, he loses his interest, and at one point he will either give up and will be your your doll, your man next to you, and you will lose interest in him, or he will basically start pulling away, start kind of separating from you little by little, because because no masculinity can live like this. No masculinity can allow themselves to be um, to get into this kind of state, when a woman is dictating what he needs to do or what he is not needing to do. So again, this happens naturally, and it happens very slow. This is not a fast emasculating of a man. This is a very slow one. A man really likes you. He really kind of enjoys your company. And when you start like, oh, please don't go, please stay with me for another couple hours, or why don't you come and hang out with me instead of going with your friends. Little by little, at the beginning, man wants to impress you, so he will do that. He will stay with you. He will maybe dissociate himself a little bit from his friends, from his interest. But again, within some time, you will see that you will start losing interest in him, because the man will not be interesting. He's not challenging for you no more. He is not masculine enough. He's not. You don't feel that strength next to him. Why? Because there is no strength. He's sitting next to you, basically catering to your emotions. He's just watching. I mean, caring for somebody is masculine. I wouldn't say no. But a man has to do something outside to do something for you. See, he needs to go and make money to buy you presents. He needs to go socialize with his friends, with his man friends, to kind of to get the energy going, to get some kind of some diversity in his life. You see, masculinity is very linear. He needs to go up all the time. He could not stay on one level. Like femininity is horizontal. So you can stay on one level and just expand horizontally. A man could not do that. If he will expand horizontally, that's what he will be. He will be a fat gossiper next to you. He will just sit and gossip and discuss things that he's not interested in, and he will become chubby and chubby because he is feminine. And that will not do. And the same also happened when you start following him around. So he goes to the gym, you go to the gym with him. He goes to meet your friends. He goes to meet his friends. You also go to meet his friends. Like you become in this tail that always basically just following him around. This is no good. I'm telling you, this is no good. So please do not do this for your man. Let him be him. Allow him the freedom. Also in here, when you my TikTok just disappeared. Let's get it back. Also, what happens? How does it happen when? So, what else you can do to masculate him? Yes, through your manipulations. When you start controlling his actions, when you start controlling not only his actions but also controlling who he associates with. His friends now are not good. His family, maybe you don't like exactly that he calls his mom every single day. When you don't like that he spends time with his children from other relationships. So all this stuff really emasculate him. You basically closing him more and more and more. And at one point, that man will be in a box that is basically just has no identity. So all this, if you are telling him, oh my God, this friend of yours, he's just remember how in Hangover, Stu, he had this fiance, girlfriend, whoever she was, and basically she was telling him what he should do, what he should not do, and that just and he just was he was just doing what she would tell him. She was telling him to use something for his hair, and she didn't like his friend. So basically he was once he got this kind of the energy, once he was free, he was able to break away from her. But don't do that. Don't get to that point. Don't become this manipulative kind of controlling woman in his life. He will not care for you more. He will not like you more. He will just basically start hating you little by little. And at one point, as soon as there is a chance, he will like this very fast from your life, and he will be happy for that. So all this kind of manipulative dictatorship will not work on masculine energy. Masculinity is free, wild. Any kind of energy is wild. Allow it to be wild. Little by little, if a man likes you, he will domesticate himself. He will try to kind of please you, but don't force him into that with your tears, with your emotions. Again, Masculinity has no emotions. They don't know how to deal with them. If he really likes you, he will want to please you. But do you want him to lose his identity and become a feminine couch potato just because you want him to be next to you? You will lose interest in him. And so again, don't really look into who he socializes with. Don't his friends, his family. There is a reason why all these people are in his life. If there is a reason why they're in his life, and if for some reason, if his energy will change, they probably fell off. Maybe he needed some friends before he had you. Now he has you. He probably will not need that many friends, or I'm not sure, but allow him to have his own development. Allow him to have this family friends. Again, feminine energy is much stronger, but use your strengths wisely. And next Sunday, I will tell you how. Don't use it on this kind of actions, on controlling, watching him, reading his text messages, checking his phone, then crying and being absolutely pathetic into your don't go, don't do this, don't, because you're scared, you're not secure in yourself. But this is not his problem. This sounds more like a you problem, and not really his problem. So anyways, I hope it makes sense. This doesn't happen very often, but does happen. Usually men don't tolerate. Masculine men don't tolerate that. Feminine men will tolerate and will sit next to you and be even more feminine. So don't then complain that your man doesn't buy nothing, that doesn't make a lot of money, because he sits next to you because you're so afraid to lose him to do something. I even knew a couple. I worked with the woman, and her man, he was a salesperson for some kind of pharmacy. I'm not sure, some pharmaceutical sales, and he was traveling not only around United States, but he also was traveling abroad very often, and he was making a lot of money like this. He was very successful and very masculine. And then at one point, I'm not sure, she just started having this kind of doubts, and she didn't want him to be, and she loved that life of privilege. I mean, they had a beautiful house in Long Island. I mean, they had everything going on. They would go on vacations, and they wouldn't just go on vacations, just saving and then go on vacation. They would go on lavish vacations. I mean, she had really the best, she could buy anything for the most part. They lived a really good life. But at one point, I don't know, maybe somebody told her something, she became insecure, and she started forcing him to quit the job. They didn't even have kids, honestly. I'm not sure why she was like this. And he did. She convinced him, and he did. He quit the job, and he lost himself. He lost the identity. He didn't know what to do. He tried a different kind of sales positions within the city, but they weren't as successful. And he started drinking. He started basically gaining weight. He became a little violent here and there. And at one point, they got divorced. So what she was afraid that would happen, happened eventually. But it would have maybe never happened if she would allow him to be himself, to be to explore, and to be to be this man that he was. Anyways, that was don't do that. So basically, if you want your man to be a man, don't make him a spiritless creature that would just sit and cater to you. All right. So the fourth one is this one. Doesn't happen very often here in Miami, but does happen. I saw it. I saw it before. I saw it in New York a few times. You emasculate your man when you lower your standards. Very important. This happens in the beginning, little by little. And again, it happens when you become, usually a woman are more empathetic than men. And they always, when they put a man a little bit on the pedestal, they lower themselves a little bit. And when they lower themselves a little bit, they are like, well, maybe I don't need this. Maybe, maybe I'm just happy that I have this man. That's more than enough for my happiness. So it does, it starts little by little, and it gets worse. How could this happen? For example, you guys went on a date. You went first time on a date, second time on a date, third time on a date, and you go to nice restaurants. You like to dress up. You like to go to these beautiful places, and you go there with the girls, and so you go with the man. He knows that you like these beautiful places. And then on the fourth date, he's telling you something like, you know what, I've been spending really a lot lately. Why don't we do something low-key, maybe order pizza and just stay at home? And the woman being empathetic, and she's like, yeah, why not? I mean, getting into his shoes, like maybe I really need to help him to save. and this and that. And she's like, yeah, sure, let's do that. A woman would never even think that maybe he just went a night before to 11 and spent a few thousand there or something. I mean, you must understand that men, they are very selfish, so they prioritize prioritize what is important for them and what is not. So what I want to say is that when you are lowering your standards, you're not doing nothing better for him. You basically just showing him that you are okay with little. And since you're okay with little, he's like, okay, so then I don't need to work too hard to do something extra. And and basically, one time that you guys ordered pizza and stayed at home, the second day you will do. Then he's like, look, we spent such a good time eating pizza and staying at home. Why not to do it again? And you're like, okay, sure, fine. Then when you are getting married and when you're used to kind of to take care of yourself, you used to do your hair, to do your nails all the time, and he likes you like that. He likes you to be taken care of. But then he starts, do you really need to go do your hair every 3 weeks, or no, nails every 3 weeks, your hair every week? I mean, do you really need to do? Do you really need to do this? Do you really need to do that? And little by little, you start thinking, maybe I don't really need to do this. Maybe he's right, and he will start saying, "Oh, I love you like this. You don't need to do your nails. I love you even with not taking care of nails. Or I love your hair natural, whatever." So he will start saying things like this, and you will start thinking and believing him, and you will start lowering your standards of how you take care of yourself. And at one point, he will leave you because he liked you when you were this. When you were this high value woman, the woman who took care of yourself. But this is how you emasculate your man, basically by lowering your standards. And we never lower the standards. If you would not lower your standards for yourself, why would you lower your standards for your man? If you are used to go to nice places for dinners every single day, why would you lower your standard for a man, a grown-up man who can go and make the money? I mean, worst case scenario, he can do something not exactly correct to take you to that dinner. If he could not afford you, then he shouldn't even be in your life. It's like this. It's look, men are very ambitious. They are very selfish, and of course they want best. But if you could not do this, like my brother is very masculine, but he always says, he always knew what kind of woman he can afford and what he could not. And I mean, he has a really nice woman, but he says, if I could not afford a woman, if I could not provide for her really like she deserves to be provided, why would I even interfere in her life? And he's absolutely right. Why would it's like there is a saying, there is nothing worse than a man who is always under your feet but doesn't do nothing for you. And that is absolutely correct. So, but women usually allow this kind of treatment, allow this kind of this kind of behavior. So you don't lower the standards. If a man is telling you something like, can we do something simple? I have been spending a lot. Instead of being understanding and telling him, yeah, sure. I mean, yeah, that's absolutely fine. Even though you're already dressed up to go out, you tell him, listen, I didn't know I didn't know you had financial problems. Maybe I will give you time to figure it out. That's how it is, and you will not sound like a like a terrible gold digger, which I have nothing against gold diggers. Really, some of my clients are them. But you will sound as a woman who has standards, and he will know that you are not the one who he's going to be saving on. You see, this is important. You must see that. You must understand how important it is, because men, they will spend on what is important for them. Like I told you about that, my colleague, he got into $100,000 debt, and it's not these days. It was like 10 years ago, so 100,000 was much more, just to impress that woman. So when a man wants to impress a woman, wants to do something for her, he will find a way. I don't know, will sell his kidney or something. I'm not saying that he should, and I never approved of that guy borrowing so much money to impress a girl. But you should not be the one that he's going to be cutting corners on. And he will go spend with his boys thousands of dollars, but then he will tell you, hey, can we go somewhere simpler because I've been spending too much? I mean, you're not his mother to get into his shoes, and he's not a little boy. Let him find a way how he's going to save somewhere else. But this is a woman's fault very often, and I'll tell you why that happened, but it does happen. So again, do not move from your standards. If a man will tell you, oh, so you love me only for my money, tell him something like, no, I don't, but I like to have my dinners in nice places. I would not go to a place that I don't want you to change me. I don't want you to change my standards. If you could not, if you could not afford my standards, that's one thing. Most of men, masculine men, they understand this. Masculine men will never argue with you. Masculine men will never tell you, oh, you're just after my money. Never. I never met a masculine man in my life who would say something like this. I mean, they will say something like, listen, I can't do it this, time, like this, it is what it is. But they would never blame you. They understand it's their kind of fault that they could not put together to afford you. They would always blame themselves. Not even blame, but they will know it's their kind of, it's their fault. Now, feminine men, though, that's where they start. So, oh my God, you're gold. There is a saying that the only men who don't have gold are always blaming that women are gold diggers because of this. So men like this, they will start with, I want you to love for me. Even if they're wealthy, they still will do this stuff. So again, do not lower your standards. It will not make. And I knew so many women in my life who were trying to prove a man that they are not after his money. Why? What did they do? I mean, I was one man like this who I was trying. He was not very wealthy, but he was well off. And he was telling me how everyone is a gold digger. So for the first 3 months, I was trying to be like so understanding and not asking him for nothing. And like we're going out, and I'm like, well, do you want me to pay half something? I mean, it was really very pathetic. And thankfully, he never really let me pay. But it was a mistake, because in the end, the man never really learned to give me gifts. He never really started giving me nothing. I was too understanding for my own good. So don't do that. Don't lower your standards. Don't allow a man to lower your standards. Just don't be mean about this, but be nice. But this is what happens. Usually a man gets emasculated when a woman lowers her standards. And usually it happens when they're living together, and then the woman needs less and less and less, and the man is making less and less and less because he really doesn't need her, she doesn't need too much, you see? Like I already told you, I had a colleague, and he had a very high maintenance woman. She was his wife, and they had a couple kids. And he would always complain about how she always, if they go to the theater, she would buy like the best tickets, the like the most expensive ones. If they have to go, they used to host and have parties at their home. So she would always like have the best catering, the best this and that. And he would tell, I can't believe this woman, I can't. And so at one point he was complaining so much about his woman that I told him, why are you with her? I mean, if she is so expensive, why are you? And he said, I love that. This is why I am with her, because she motivates me, and he was one of the most successful people that I worked with because of his woman. So you see, she would not lower her standards. And because she was, she would just stay, she would not lower his standards. He knew that if he would divorce her, she would find another man who would be gladly having her in his life. She was faithful to herself. So, but that's how a woman make a man feminine, by lowering her standards. That doesn't happen in my world often. In my world, actually, women are very high maintenance, thankfully. So their men are on their feet, on the point, and they always do something to impress them. So thankfully, but I saw it happen in my previous, I would say, life. In my when I was younger, I saw it often. So never lowering your standards will make your man very feminine. Okay, so and the last one. Oh my God. I hope you can see me. Yeah. My structure here is not that strong. Okay, you can see me. I guess I was saying the truth. All right, so the last one is when you give. Remember how in the beginning I said a man grew in challenges, a woman grew in pleasure. So when you give a man too much pleasure, you can make him feminine. Remember, you and a man connect only on 25%. A man is supposed to be masculine 75% of the time and 25% of the time feminine. So if you constantly kind of like want him to be with you, like giving him pleasure. How could the pleasure be? I'm not talking about intimacy in particular. I mean, obviously, laying in bed all day and just just being intimate is not like always productive and good. I'm talking about eating, laying on the beach, going to all-inclusive resorts, and just being there, not doing no activities. This could make your man feminine as well. This doesn't happen often, but I saw couples like this who became too feminine. And I actually saw a couple, they had a business. So the man had a business and the woman was helping with him. And at one point, they started making money. Once they started making money, a man, so a woman was kind of pushing her man to become more to enjoy the life more, to kind of to spend time more together, to be more relaxed. And the business went down a little bit, not a little bit, but a lot. They started making less money again because she made her man feminine, and and he was not interested in achieving any kind of success, accomplishment, goals. He was just basically just flowing through life as a feminine man would. So too much pleasure is no good. Look, I live on the beach. I go to the beach maybe once a month. Laying on the beach chair, for a day is okay. Even for me, it's a little too much. And I'm a feminine woman who loves to lay, read a book, do nothing. But even for me, for a feminine woman, it's too much. I only can imagine how much it is for a masculine man. So again, too much pleasure. So the pleasure needs to be in limits. If you give too much to a man, it will not do nothing good to him. It will probably. So this is how it is. You give a man some pleasure, he takes that energy and he goes and he does something in the world. You see. So he needs to do something with that energy. But if you only give that energy, it becomes stagnant and kind of and dirty, and the man is not using it for nothing. It will not do nothing good for you or for him. He will only become more and more feminine. He will start gaining weight, he will become lazier, then he will start drinking, he will start using some kind of substances that he shouldn't be using because of that. So too much pleasure is no good, but this is the way how a man can become feminine. Now, why does it usually happen? A woman obviously would not want to act like this. And next Sunday, I will tell you how a woman should act, and and what would be a good way to communicate with the man or to socialize with the man, to act with the man, so for him to stay masculine. But happens usually when women are either have wrong patterns or are somewhat insecure. So the first mistake women usually do is they go for the wrong qualities. So when they start dating, and I had a friend like this, it was shocking. She would say something like, well, he's not exactly perfect, but I think I can change him. So you see, she already starts on the wrong. So she is already looking for the son that she can change and make him a man. Why would he stay with her? I mean, he will, and this is exactly what happened to her a couple times. Even one time, a guy that she was dating and made a man out of him started talking to me. I didn't even know she was dating him, but he started writing to me because, sometimes when we're together, she tags me in her pictures. It was really, and she got so upset. I would get upset, but I told her, you became a mother to him. Obviously, I didn't even talk to him, but the point is that this is what happens. The first mistake that a woman do, they go for a man that's not exactly what they want, but they think that they will change it. Or, for example, they go for a man who is empathetic, he's already feminine. Or they go for a man who's emotional, again, he's already feminine. Or for a man who is sensitive, who is caring, but caring in the wrong way, like not caring masculine way, but caring who's like, hey, how was your how was the day at your job? Is everything good? Like this, like he's asking, but he's not offering any kind of solutions, and the woman, they go for that, they think it's sweet. But sweet until like for how long? At one point, so this is the first mistake. Women start dating wrong qualities. They don't go for a man that they admire, that they're inspired by, that may be a little challenging, but he's masculine. They go for a man who is simple, who is easy to manipulate. And here you are, you get yourself a feminine man, you will manipulate him to become even more feminine. This is the first mistake. And this happens often. I see it all the time. You see, I see it from my clients. I see it from my friends. I see it from from just women around me. I mean, I'm in a couple groups on Facebook. I read it all the time. I'm like, you went for the guy that you don't even like, for what? Just because he's a good listener? What do you want? I mean, do you need a priest that will be listening to you, or do you want a man who you're going to grow with? So they start already wrong. They're looking either for a friend or somebody like that, and this is already bad start. And the second mistake they do, they usually tolerate behavior that doesn't make excuses for men, that they are not that should not be allowed. So they lower their standards, not only their life standards, but their standards overall. A man becomes jealous and they're like, oh, he loves me, that's good. What? He's just insecure. It has nothing to do with love. So these are two mistakes that the women do, and then that's how they make men feminine. All right, that's it. If you have questions, ask. Let me sum it up really fast. I hope it makes sense. I do want to mention that I do not blame women or men. We're all products of our society. So sometimes we act in a particular way because the society around us was like this. Like me, I was born feminine, but the society around me was masculine. So I was brought up to be masculine, and I was masculine for many years. Now, the man who would be like, for example, I have a younger brother, a year younger. So when he was born, he had a cord around his neck, so he hardly survived, I guess. Because he had he was kind of weak. Everybody was around him like, not my parents though. My parents were masculine, so they really didn't. But grandparents, the friends, the neighbors, everybody was like, oh, he's sickly. He never was sickly, never. Now, I guess, except for that incident at his birth. I mean, he's just like me, thankfully, with a good kind of robust health. So he was always good. But a lot of people put in my brother is masculine, but a lot of people were putting in his mind that, oh, you should be careful, don't overwork yourself like this. I remember this in childhood. It was very weird, honestly. I am a girl, but they were pampering him, but luckily for me, our parents would not allow that. So anyways, but if my parents would be like, yeah, you should take care, let your sister do the work. I mean, that would be strange. I would be masculine, he would be feminine. You see, so sometimes you're just a product of your society, and that's what happens. But you as a woman should never allow a feminine man in your life, and should never make a man that next to you feminine. And this is how you can make them. First of all, when you start dating, don't go for the wrong things. Go for a man that you love, that you admire, that you look and you're like, like this, like you're melting in front of him, not like, oh yeah, he seems subtle, so yeah, he could be a good man. Yeah, I can control him. He would be a good father. Like, why would you go for a man like this? And don't tolerate any kind of behavior that doesn't work. This just doesn't lower your standards anyhow. All right. So, but again, 5 ways how you can make human feminine, and just really fast. The first one, you becoming a mother. This is the most popular one, especially when you guys have kids. Little by little, you start babying him. You don't believe he can clean the apartment. You don't believe he can clean the dishes. You don't believe he can cook anything. I mean, you just make him. You criticize him in front of others. You compare him to others. You tell him what to wear. You tell him what to do. He makes a decision. You override the decision. It's like, it's terrible. Even if you don't do all this inside, if you believe that your man is incapable, he will feel it. We socialize energetically, so he will feel it. So don't do that. I mean, trust that he can. He can handle the responsibility. He's man. Men, they are very strong, very resourceful. I'm telling you this. This again, or she could be an empathetic mother that would feel sorry for him. That was with me a couple times. I remember when a man would come and he's like, oh, my boss this, my boss that, and I would be listening, and I'm like, you know what, you just need to quit. I make enough money for both of us, and this was a big mistake. I lasted exactly 1 month, So again, just because a man is complaining, I mean, let him suck it up and pull it together. Let him get a new job or whatever. It has nothing to do with you. But don't become a mommy, and so he will become your child. This is not what a man is for. The second thing is you making him your girlfriend. So you dragging him around, you guys doing everything together, talking about everything. And then at one point you need a responsible adult. You need a man who can make a decision. And he's like, I mean, what are you expecting me to make a decision? I mean, I'm obviously, I'm not for that. I'm here. I'm your girlfriend here. So again, a masculine man will never tolerate it. A feminine man will be lost. So the third way how you can make a man feminine is through manipulations. Usually, this is a woman who are in dirty femininity, and they start either me or your friend choose like this, and she will add couple tears, and the man is like, if he really likes you, he will choose you, and that's not a good way to start any kind of relationship. So this usually in this relationship, a man either will lose his identity and become your pet, or he will basically he will leave you. He will start either hiding, or he will start looking for the outlet to do something. Because it's intolerable. Masculinity needs freedom. He needs to be able to do something outside, to be man, to be masculine, to accomplish things, to do something, to even do some kind of sport, to socialize with men, to have these interactions. Just like for a woman, it's important to be among other women. For a man, it's important to be with other men. Maybe you think they're bad influence, but for him, these are his friends. So there must be something, some kind of development going on, in their relationship. So, anyways, but that's what happened when a woman is needy, insecure. She's constantly crying, you don't love me, you don't spend time with me. This is me often. I will tell you, in my previous relationship, a man loved me, so they were staying with me. They were kind of stepping on their throat just to please me, and it never, it was never satisfying. As soon as a man out of my sight, I would start being nervous. And only with masculine man, I kind of learned how to tolerate that, how to fight almost myself, because masculine man is not going to tolerate this stuff. They were basically like, listen, I have to go. I will be like, I will see you tomorrow. Nothing wrong with that. And I'm grateful. Really, they showed me that I was absolutely fine. Without them, nothing was happening. So anyways, don't do that. Remember, feminine energy is much stronger. You are able to make him spineless, like this kind of useless creature. But do you want the man with no identity? You love the strong man. Let him stay strong man for you. Let him, so you admire him and you continue wanting to be with him. It's, there is beauty in that. So anyways, don't dictate who they should socialize with. Remember, his family is his family for a reason. His friends are friends for a reason. You might not like them, but for him, these are people that he's used to have. Obviously, don't punish him this way. Don't cut his don't cut the people that made him what he is, like that. All right, so the next one is you lowering your standards. That makes him very feminine. Why? Because he feels like he doesn't need to do anything hard to get you. You're already there, and you don't need much. So it is what it is. So lowering your standards is never a good thing. Don't do that. Don't do it for yourself. Don't do it for your man. If a man is pushing you to lower your standards, like for example, he says, well, if you want to go on vacation, we need to start saving. Oh, no. Don't listen to that. He will start making less money. You will see. You lower your standards, he will start making less money. So don't buy all that. Instead of telling him, look, I'm sure you'll figure out how to get the money for the vacation, but I do need to buy this. I do need to make my nails. I do need this. I do need that. And if you could not really afford, then maybe we should be together. I don't want to be a burden to you like this. You need to stand your ground. A man will push you little by little, especially if he's a feminine man. Don't allow that. You will drop, and then other masculine men will not want you. So, and the last one, not really happen that often, but if it's your case, then be mindful. When you give too much pleasure for a man, remember, masculinity grows in challenges, femininity grows in pleasure. So you give your man what you want him to grow. If you want him to grow femininity, then give him pleasure. If you want him to grow masculinity, then give him challenges. So if you give too much pleasure to a man, if you will try to convince, so look, I'm a woman, right? So I need more pleasure in my life. I need to lay down and read a book. I need to kind of to do nothing, to be lazy. I'm a woman. feminine woman. It's okay for me. A man, so I'm thinking maybe, well, if I need that, then my man needs also. So maybe we can lay together and read books on the beach all day long. And so I'm trying to convince him. I'm trying to kind of bring him. So, if you will rest more, it will be better for you, for your energy, and this and this. No, it won't do like that. And the man will believe me at one point, but it will not do nothing for his energy, because masculinity wants to be a doer, wants to do something. You see. So, anyways, this is another one that makes a man masculine, feminine. Don't do that again. Do obviously make sure that there is pleasure in your relationship, but don't make him feminine as you are. You don't need to. A man is a man for a reason, and that's what it is. All right, that's it. Please do, if you didn't watch the previous video, do watch it. How the man drains you. But again, take the responsibility. A man will never drain you if you will not allow him that. So often it's the woman in a man's life that make him feminine, not necessarily a woman that he dates. It could be his mother. Very often it could be his mother, and I saw that. As I told you last time, I had a client. She was very masculine, a woman like really sharp, even in her like 80s. She got 3 sons, all masculine, all acting feminine, all married to women who are masculine. It just, you see, they basically changed with the environment. So they have a huge potential, but they will probably never be masculine because they have all these women masculine. So it could be his mother, but again, if they would choose to marry women who are feminine, they would start acting masculine. So again, it's in your power. If you have sons, please don't make them feminine. Again, a boy grows in challenges. A boy needs challenges to feel like yes, I'm a hero. A girl doesn't need challenges. A girl needs to be knowing that she's loved and accepted just because she's enjoying herself. So again, as I said, like in my childhood, if my parents would kind of buy this thing that my brother needed more rest than I do, I mean, who knows what would happen? Lucky for me, I mean, they really didn't care. We were all even. All right. So, but do not blame your man. Look into yourself. For the most part, look into yourself. What is it that brought you? Like me at that time, when that co-worker of mine wanted to borrow money from me to impress the other girls. At that moment, I started thinking, why? How can a man has so much enough like nerve to even assume that I should give him money for him to impress another woman? Like, why? What do I do in my life wrong that this could even happen? And I knew. I always felt I was training him, so I felt kind of my obligation. I treated him almost like my son, even though we're almost the same age. But I felt like I needed to help him, and he felt it energetically. He felt like he could take. I mean, lucky for me, it was an eye opener. I didn't give him obviously money, but it was an eye opener for me, like really, really big one. Before I even studied tantra, before I studied energy. But I realized that something was off. I was too empathetic for my own good. So a man, most of the time, can act differently. They can act masculine, they can act feminine. It will depend on you, only on you, how he will act around you. Again, if a man is naturally masculine, he will push you somehow to your femininity. That's why every woman wants to have a masculine man, because they want to feel soft and kind of and feminine around the man. But if a man is feminine, born feminine, he will naturally fall into femininity if you will allow him. So don't allow that. Next Sunday we will talk about how to prevent it, obviously, how you should act. But overall, like understand that that it's usually a woman who makes a man weak, who makes a man feminine, who emasculated. A woman is much more powerful. Remember, men are strong outside physically. Women are strong inside energetically. So if you will fight a man physically, you will lose. But if you will fight a man emotionally, energetically, you will win. Don't use your power wisely. Don't use your power to make him a spineless doll that just sits there and nods every time you say something. You don't need this. You want a man. Let him stay a man. Use your powers wisely. And we will talk about this next time. All right, that's it. If there are no questions, we will go. On Thursday, I put a video on your natal Pluto and Neptune, I think. Please do watch it. I have like a whole bunch of those videos. I put them on Thursday. So if you are interested in astrology, please do watch it. It's always good to know what you are. Oh, really fast, I wanted to answer the question. I completely forgot. So the question was, the last time I was telling you that I think it's important. If you don't care, don't listen. But so last time I said that feminine man usually will not approach. This is how they train women. They don't approach women on themselves, on their own. So they don't make decisions in the present moment. And usually they will write you, they will talk to you, but they will not make a decision about the date. Now, a masculine man will not make a decision about the date because he's not really interested in you. So the question was, how do I know whether a man is masculine and just not interested in me, or he's feminine and not decisive? Okay, so here's the thing. You need to look at how he acts in everyday life. If a man is masculine, he makes decisions easily and fast with everything. So, for example, he needs to do something. He just gets in the car and does it. If he needs to solve some kind of problem, he does it. So if he is not inviting you on a date, then he's really not interested in you. Because if he would already solve that issue. He would already offer you to go have coffee or to have a dinner or something. Now, a feminine man usually will be like really invested in you. He will call you, he will text you. He's just not really brave enough, I would say, or masculine enough to invite you on a date. He's maybe he's just not strong enough. Anyways, but this is what happens. Hold on a sec. Why is this? So a feminine man is just not decisive. He's not decisive, and that's what happened to him. Anyways, so I would not go for that man at all. Either he's feminine or masculine. I wouldn't even go for him. Why? Because I believe every woman deserves a masculine man. And if a feminine man is not strong enough to act feminine, to act masculine, then you don't even need him, because this will be every single time. Right now, he could not invite you on a date. Then he could not make a decision where you guys going on a date, so you don't need him. A masculine man who's not interested, I mean, it's either you will make him interested, and you do it by working with your energy. So the more you, the stronger your feminine energy is, the more he will want to be with you. So either you will get him like this, or just give up on him. So I wouldn't even go for that man at all, completely. No matter whether he's masculine or feminine, I wouldn't even waste my breath on that guy. All right, so I wanted to answer that question, a good question, really. Yeah, but for the most part, I mean, you don't need a baby that doesn't know how to make decisions, and you don't want a masculine man that doesn't really even like you to take you to coffee or to take you to dinner. This a waste of effort. I would work on myself in that moment. All right, that's it. Next Sunday at 11 we will talk about what how to inspire your man, how to act for your man to stay masculine and want to be masculine for you. And if you have questions to ask, please do watch that video from last Sunday. I will put in the description of this one. And again, do work with your energy. Your energy is everything. This is what makes man want to be heroes for you, want to slay dragons for you. All right, that's it. Bye, everybody. Thank you for being here. Enjoy your Sunday, and I will see you. So on Thursday, I'll put a video, and I will see you next Sunday. Bye, everybody.